In today's video, not only I'm going to show you how to make your very own rice paper, but we will also make a project with it. This idea for the product, for the tip and technique was in my mind for a very long time. I always wanted to use tea bags for something. I always thought that, wow, this is such a waste, and I really wanted to use it for something. For many weeks, I have been collecting those tea bags. Actually, I should say Lucas, my husband, have been collecting them for me, drying them as well, and putting them in my studio. So once I had a lot of them, I decided to empty them all, put the tea aside. Actually, I didn't use it for anything, but you could probably use it for some paste, possibly some paint idea. But once I had plenty of these papers bags, I decided to make it as a one big piece of rice paper. We will also decide together for making some kind of design and how can we actually make this rice paper, tissue paper looking different. I decided to go for three sort of ways. You're gonna see it in a minute, but let's focus first on making the paper. So once I had my tea bags flat, I started joining them with just regular craft glue, and a sort of liquidy glue would work. I have used and tried it on the side some clear gesso. It didn't really work that well for it. Then I tried as well Pritt stick. Didn't work that well. I tried some gel medium. I think it worked good, but for some reason I just decided let's just use a regular glue, and that's exactly what I have done. You can see that I'm using just some school sort of glue, craft glue, and it worked fantastic. Under my tea bags, I have a glass mat. It's the very first time I'm using this glass mat. It's from Craftelier. Glue as well is from there. I'm going to try to give you all the links. And it is a fantastic, because usually I would work in probably on my desk, or I would work maybe on some parchment paper, which a glass mat, it's working wonders because it's reusable. You can clean it, wash it, you can cut on it. As far as I know, you can paint on it, you can do everything and just wash it off so good. I love the idea of having glass mat in white, and probably this is the reason why I didn't have it for ages. And once I could see that, wow, there is not a black one, but actually white one, I really wanted it, so here it is. But let's get back to our papers. The first design on our paper is stamping, and I thought, wow, making a background paper with some text stamp is just ideal. So that's exactly what I did. Mixed and matched two different text stamps, and here we go. It's already done. And one of the papers, one of these, I decided to keep it blank, and the third one, I decided to scrunch it a little bit and just use some ink. If you don't have ink, I'm pretty convinced you can use any paint, maybe watercolor paint, maybe diluted acrylic paint. Most definitely use something. You could use probably coffee dye as well, old coffee, or maybe super strong tea. This could for sure work also as your coloring medium. I wanted for this one to be more of a vintage feel, vintage touch to that tape, I should say, because actually the size of this paper, it's like a tape kind of, and we will be rolling this in the tape shape as well. I think it just works best way, to be honest. So I'm adding these in different scrunched places in our tape, scrunching it even more and then adding more pigment. So it's going to be looking more vintagey, old, used, basically beautiful. So everything is ready now. In the meantime, I cleaned my mat and I'm drying the tapes, making sure papers, making sure they are dry and ready to be rolled. This is awesome part because I love the idea that I came up with, making my toilet paper rolls basically smaller. So that way they just take so much less space and we can just roll our tea bags on top of these, and this is fantastic. I used hot glue gun, I created 3 different little rolls, and there we go. And I started basically rolling them simply as that. I love the idea of making the toilet paper rolls smaller because they will just take less space on our desk and just look cuter as well. And I had these little pegs and I just put it together and I just loved it so very much. So we have a plain tape, we have text tape, and we also have a vintage one, the one that we have painted with our ink. And I'm rolling all three. I have to say that they are looking so gorgeousness. Even rolled like that, they just look like papyrus. I don't know if that's the word in English, papyrus. It's like old vintagey paper, I think. I love that. Look at it, gorgeous. Now let's move on to our project. I decided this time to not go for 2 spread pages, but actually 1 spread page in my small book, because I really want to finish this book, and for some reason I'm like, yeah, I just really wish to make 1 page this time. So my background, starting with adding, of course, my new papers, and this is a great way. I'm using also clear gesso as my adhesive, and it works wonders. It really does work on the paper with my new paper, with my tea bags. I wonder if you have ever worked with tea bags. I wonder if you thought about using them as your background, of creating something from them. I really had this project in my mind for many more months, and for some reason it was like collecting more and even more tea bags until I was like, yeah, this is it, let's do it. And the white element that you see, white paint, it's of course white gesso, kind of making my project cohesive and background a little bit connected to the rest, like everything is happy family. And a butterflies, of course, why not? A little vintagey page that is just gorgeousness. I fussy cut my butterflies, I glue it down, and then I have covered everything with clear gesso, dry it as well, and we're good to go. To add some mediums, I'm using my favorite pen for doodling. It's the Pilot one, G-Tech C4. I think I'll give you the link, of course. And I'm just going around with all 3 butterflies just to bring them standing out a little bit. We're gonna add, of course, some splashes and a little title, and we're good to go. Our page is ready in a very short time with a gorgeous background. I really hope you like this. I really hope you will try to make your very own raised paper. I think it's fantastic to make your very own one because it's gonna be just unique and special. So I hope, my friends, that was a great fun time with me. Thank you so much for watching, for joining. It was a pleasure to be in your homes. Don't forget to come back, check for new videos. Something super special is coming your way. For now, have a beautiful day. Stay healthy, smiley, and I'll speak to you very soon. I already miss you, but I will be back. I promise. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.